Hey beautifuls, I've just come out of my life purpose business mentoring, so I'm all in like flow zone of like business, life purpose, business stuff. I love talking about that stuff. That's in our Trust Intuition training school, which you can still join for $11 a month, which is crazy ridiculous, which I will be putting that up, changing it in some way, shape or form very shortly. So if you want information on how to get in to our Trust Intuition training school, which we just come out of that. So I'm so excited to talk about what we did in there, talk about wealth consciousness, money transferring from free readings into paid readings, and how do you grow your spiritual career and actually step into it as a career instead of just doing it for free for people all the time and feeling drained and resentful and you love it, but something is like birthing, right? So if you want to join the Trust Intuition training school, we do weekly classes in there. The Life Purpose Business Mentoring was just one of them. We do a different class each week. You can still join us for $11 a month, so that won't be available for much longer though. So if you want to jump in on that, just comment school below and I'll send you the link for that. So I'm going to share this and we're going to talk about appliances breaking down, devices that need replacing or repairing. Like, this is a sign when reality is shifting, and I really want to speak to this because I know I touched on it when Archangel Michael channeled through the other week or last week, I think it was, with his message and saying, you know, I'm around, like if appliances have been breaking or devices or whatever's happening, car troubles, stuff going on, like let's talk about how you know reality is shifting from all the inner work that you're doing, what is required, what that means. Because sometimes it's not really convenient when, you know, you're just getting started and then all this stuff needs upgrading and repairing. And it's like, I'm just trying to move forward here. Like, hello, help, what's happening? This isn't supposed to be happening. So we're going to talk about this. So let me share this in one more place. That's why I'm doing this. And then I shall jump into it because there were some strong messages coming through yesterday even, and I just want to talk to them. So do you or have you ever experienced that of reality, like you're just starting to move forward and then like your kitchen gets flooded or something happens or like your computer starts playing up or you're freaking like, oh my God, like really, like what's happening here? Like, let's talk about this. So let me just share this here and bring up the comments. Where's my accent? I'm Australian. Is that Australian? Yeah, it is Australian. No, I'm Australian. Okay, bringing up comments. Here we go. Awesome. Yes, dishwasher. There was a bottle top stuck in the pump. So weird, so weird. So it's kind of like, okay, washing everything clean, but there's a block in it. Like, what did you say? Oh, bottle top stop in the pump. So it's kind of like, where are you needing to like, it's almost like there's a block in what's pumping through. It's kind of like, are you breaking through to another dimension, another reality shift, like belief systems breaking through the motor, like the engine room, like what are you pushing through right now? But it's like, what belief is holding you back from being able to be your full expression of self, which is, you know, the emotions, which is water. Yeah, that's what's coming through about that. Okay, my diesel 4x4 just broke down, so I bought a Mazda, definitely shifting. So this is awesome. And this is the thing where it shifts, right? So my bathroom, Kelly says my bathroom started leaking underneath the sink for whatever reason, I'm not sure. Amy said, yes, my cell phone goes in the fricks. Slow systems at work. Yeah, so it's interesting, right? It's like, new frequencies. So when technology is like, you know, our devices can get full so easily, by the way, you know, like so many people like, you know, declutter, we think of decluttering when we clean out cupboards or something. We must remember to declutter our devices. You know, so many of us have, you know, all our photos on our phones these days. You know, we don't use old cameras anymore and then somebody loses them, or they have all their photos on Facebook. I don't know why you do that, but you know, people do. And then I see people say, I've lost all my memories. And I'm like, you know, we don't have the photo books. Like I love printing out photo books these days. But having them you know, sometimes we just buy extra storage, and it's like sometimes we need to actually clean out our devices as well. So when devices sort of go like slow or haphazardly, first thing you want to do is obviously check your storage. And that's really symbolic of like your life. It's kind of like, oh, where do you need to stop and reassess what you're actually holding on to, what you're actually carrying? Because our devices and what we have in our devices is an energetic reflection of what's like, you know, is it full? Is it, you know, is it shifting to a next vibration? Do we need expansion? Do we need that clear out, right? Do we need that moving to another direction? So pipes leaking would be like, where am I leaking my energy, right? It's either like pipes leaking, like where am I leaking my energy? Where are my boundaries being skewed? And I'm, you know, bursting emotions and like randomly talking to people and telling them all my problems when I probably like actually need support with that, rather than trying to just tell everyone everything, like, you know. So it's kind of like that. Or is the pipe bursting and you actually need, you know, a whole new system, a whole new structure, a whole new direction to really contain that energy that's really trying to bust out of you into your new life, right? So, and then with the car, and so a car is really representative of ourself as well and our body. And it's like, you know, it's like they can be so symbolic. Same with a device, ultimately, same with any appliance. Like they're really symbolic of an old consciousness of ourself. And so the message that came through that I really need to share, because they showed me yesterday. So when appliances break down or need repair or upgrades, or we get a new car, like any of those. So what because I was like, how does that really represent in our life? So what they showed me is that, you know how I talk about like when we do personal development work, affirmations, mindset, you know, changing reality is really changing our thoughts, which then filters into everything, right? And as we change our thought patterns, our brain neural pathways change. Like if we think something different, it's the electrical impulses that brain, like, do you know what I mean? It's the electrical neural pathways that are firing. Like we know that, right? And so when we reach a point, like, and it's almost like when we do all this personal development work, it's kind of interesting and funny, but not funny, because it can be really frustrating. We're doing all this personal development work, or we've stepped up into a next level of it, or we've signed up to a mentorship, or whatever we're doing, we've taken a big leap. Usually, not always, but usually one of the first things that will happen is your appliances will go, or car stuff, and you'll need upgrades. And what they showed me is that is representative of where you've reached is the brain neural path. Like you've done it, you might have done it for a certain amount of time, and then you've taken a big leap, or you've reached another point of like deep movement, if you may. Your appliances and electrical devices and cars and all of that will be one of the first things that will shift, because it's the electrical impulses, like it's the pathways that have changed. So the electrical appliances that we have around us are deep representations of that. So what they're just showing me now is that when you you know, you've been given appliances, or like, do you know what I mean? Like if somebody has bought that for you, or given it to you, like awesome, great gesture and stuff, but that's also a brain, I don't know how to describe it, like a brain, a mindset, a belief system that you've also taken on. So just being mindful, like obviously you might just need to accept that help for the moment, right? But just being mindful that it's also still a brain generational, even if you're getting it from family or what have you. And maybe you need to do that in those moments, but you're also conscious of that still playing out in your reality of a mind belief system that you've taken on from them in a way. Do you know what I mean? That's a fine line. That's not a definite like, oh, this is what it is, but they're showing me that. And so it's important that if you're working on creating your own reality and shifting into your own version of reality and creating that, because that's what you're doing, right? You wouldn't be here if you didn't believe in some way, shape or form that you create your own reality. It's reality awareness, right? So being mindful that when you do accept that, you are receiving those belief systems. How do you guys feel hearing that? It's pretty deep, right? Okay. Like it's not a it's not a thing. Like, I want to say, like, just being mindful of it, but don't sort of get stuck on it. Does that make sense? Okay, Kelly says, with a new relationship, perhaps I was thinking of this and asking you, and then you came on live. That's incredible. Okay, awesome. What do you mean with a new relationship? Can you give me an example? So when you say, you say, I jammed my SIM card in my phone this past summer, had to upgrade myself. There we go. What do you mean with a new relationship? Like, do you mean if you're in a new relationship, then appliances can break? Is that what you're talking about as well? Because that definitely, I don't know if it'll definitely happen, but if it happens, it's because these new, like, you know, you've got two worlds coming together in a relationship, right? And two mindsets, like, you're creating new brain neural pathways when you both come together for 100% sure. So of course things will, you know, it's like, okay, that doesn't match in the vibration, and, you know, is that what you mean? All makes sense. Yes, lots shifting. Yes. Kathy said, I was on vacation last week and I did a big purge of old Facebook groups, old photos and apps. Oh, awesome. Perfect time to do it in the resting space. Kathy, you're in the Trust Intuition Training School and out of the Life Purpose Business Mentoring that we just did. This is exactly what we're talking about. I don't know if you caught the first part of the live stream, so I'd watch the replay if you can. I just don't know when you joined in, but this is what I was talking about with one of the other students in there about the resting phase, and it's like the new state of being. And, you know, on a vacation, it's like that's new state of being that you're now, that's just your new state of being. This is just reality now of what we're talking about and releasing that old, right? And so, like, of course, in a sense, like, of course you've got space to, but also in that new state of being, in that new frequency, that doesn't belong. So you're just like going through this purge because it's like, wow, that doesn't resonate anymore. Like, you're in this new state of being in that frequency. Like, you know what I mean? That's like perfect of what you were just talking about. I love that so much. I love that. So yeah, if you guys want to join the Trust Intuition Training School, we do weekly classes in there. You can still join for $11 a month. I won't be leaving that at $11 a month for much longer. So just comment school below if you want to jump in on our trainings in there. Okay, so just checking these comments here. Perfect. Makes so much sense. I'm a water sign. There we go. Yeah, very symbolic. Yeah. Okay, is there anything else that I need to say about reality shifting? Yeah, okay. So when reality is also shifting and we know we've had a shift, it can also appear as obviously we move house or we get a new job or something massive, like a massive life change ends up happening. It always doesn't have to be a massive life change. It can be subtle shifts. I also know when I've shifted reality or frequency, like signs that happens for me as well is, number one thing, the old things just don't feel right anymore. Also that, like, I want to change my clothes, I want to change my wardrobe, I don't want to eat the same foods. Like, I'll be going through this big sort of like, it's almost like the butterfly about to come out of the cocoon, and it's this chrysalis, like, you know, you see you coming out and it's just like, oh, all that old stuff just doesn't fit, you know, and it's like this big shedding and purging. Now we can go through and literally, you know, redo everything, or if we just sit with that, we realize that it's our internal being like shifting into a whole new dimension within our body. And so that's why we do go out, and obviously physical purge and environment and surroundings can change 100%, but we can also learn to just like really sit consciously with that frequency whilst it embeds into our new state of being, if that makes sense. What else was I just going to say? Oh yeah, so then the other thing that I notice when reality shifts is obviously people, places and things will drop out of your reality, new people will enter. Sometimes there's a space in between that and can feel very lonely, or just like, wow, it's like everything just changed, right? And like, oh, don't resonate with any of that old stuff anymore. Also, I do, you know, if we do the dishes every night or whatever it is and put them in the dishwasher, like, oh, all of a sudden in the space of a week, I'll smash like all of our glasses. Well, it'll seem like it. Like, you know, how many times do I do the dishes and put things in the dishwasher, but then like I'll just accidentally knock it, glass will go everywhere. Like when I break glass or break a plate and it'll be in a short space of time, like in a week, I'll smash like 5 plates or glasses or something like it, and I won't mean to, do you know what I mean? I'm just like, oh, another one, and it's just like, you've just broken through the glass ceiling. I'm surprised this card hasn't come out. There's a card in here that is like breaking through to a new dimension, and there's a couple of, I think even in another deck there's another card that's similar, and is representative by a whale or a dolphin, like jumping through the surface of the water. And if we look at, you know, shifting frequency and shifting dimension and shifting into a new realm of reality, it's literally like breaking a glass window and breaking out of the cage, so to speak, and breaking and smashing the window. Like, do you know what I mean? Smashing through. So when glass breaks for me, it's very much that. I don't know, we're not going to be able to find the card now, am I? Here it is. Such a beautiful card. That's why I want to show you. Break through to new dimensions. So you can see the whale jumping out of the water. It's such a, I just love this card so much. The frequency, the energy of it, and it's so representative of when we're breaking through. Oh wow, Kelly, you broke 2 cups doing the dishes. There we go. That's what I'm talking about, right? Break through to new dimensions. Yeah, it's a thing. Sorry, what have we been talking about on these healing live streams that I've been doing when I've been doing a psychic reading for those healing live streams, and especially in like suicide and depression, like listening to the whales and dolphins helps out. Like there's something, they're so healing. They're, you know, the dolphins are the closest connection to our makeup and what, you know, like that's who we are. Ultimately, when we listen to their healing sounds, like you just tap into YouTube or I don't know, whatever, you know, music thing that you listen to, you can actually heal and shift frequency by listening to the whale and dolphin sounds, right? Very healing, they shift our frequency, but always representative of jumping out of the water. So a new endeavor is on the horizon. Innovative energy wants to bust forth into your consciousness. See how it said into your consciousness? This is where I'm talking about the appliances and devices and everything when they need upgrades or they break or anything. It's a sign that you've changed neural pathways in your brain, which is where we start creating reality, because it changes how we feel. It changes the vibrations that we put out from what we feel. Starts in the consciousness, in what we're consciously choosing to think and create in our reality. So innovative energy wants to bust forth into your consciousness, right? So these are all signs that reality has been shifting for you. So I just pulled 2 cards. I just pulled cards to sort of tie up this appliance live stream, if you may. So I'll just check these comments. So Kelly says, a new relationship I met. Yes, 2 worlds coming together. I was unsure at first, then upgraded phone, lost contact. So I thought it was meant to be for us. Then he'll find me again, and he did. I've totally shifted in a short amount of time. I go by my solar plexus there. Perfect. I applied for a new job, met on Tuesday, got hired. Oh, amazing. And this is how fast reality can shift. If we allow it, reality can shift like that. We can be living in another state, another town. We can have a new relationship all very quickly. And it's not that it's like too fast. It's just that you've been preparing for this for a long time. And when it gets to that tipping point, when it gets to that space, when we let go of the belief systems holding us back, all of a sudden, new dimension, baby. It's like you've been working for this for lifetimes. So in the past card is look at the underbelly. Be sure that you're using your time in the best possible manner. You might consider taking time to organize yourself, or perhaps your project you're working on could use some fine tuning. What we're talking about, shifting and clearing out devices, clearing space, shifting into a new frequency to allow that. It says, look beyond the surface. Again, the beautiful whale. Avoid becoming distracted by surface issues. Focus on underlying motivation, cause, or beauty in a situation. Seek ways to bring depth to your world. So we're diving beyond the surface. We're looking at the underbelly. It's interesting, those came out, right? And this is the deep work that you're doing to change your reality. You're doing affirmations, personal development, meditating more, getting healthier, exercising, changing your diet, doing all those things, taking courses, growing your psychic skills, whatever you're doing, right? That's all doing work under the surface, yeah? And then all of a sudden, everything will shift, right? And it can happen very fast. And again, it's not because it's fast, it's because you've been doing the work for a long time, right? You've been diving deep. Overlying card is seeing both sides. So take a step back and try looking at this from a different perspective. And this is the thing where it's like, you know, like can be frustrating when appliances die, or, you know, we get a new car. It's a lot of work, right? Or move house. It's a lot of work. And I think that we don't give it the credit that it's due, right? When we go through these massive life changes. And this is the thing where all of a sudden it can change when we step back and actually see it for what it is. It's like, This is what's just happened. And when we realize that this is what's happening, we can allow this to happen faster when we know that this is why it's happening, if that makes sense. Yeah. So that was a message for you. Nalina says, I'm feeling this. I so want to sift through everything. Yeah, it's important to do that and make time for it. Yeah, you don't have to be on vacation to do it. It's important to make time for it. It's so important. So today is the last day before our psychic protection class in the investment increases as well. So we're starting that next week. If you want to jump in on that, we're going on a 2-week journey for our psychic protection, being able to dive into the depths of your subconscious to understand what true psychic protection is, understand psychic attack, understand how to psychically protect yourself, because consciousness and AI is now involved. It has been for a while, but it's becoming stronger. And this is something I'm finding with people that are telling me that their psychic tools don't work anymore. We're going to go into understanding why that is, how you can take your power back and really come back into your power and know that you're psychically protected. I want to say without even trying, because it is a big power shift. So there's only probably about another 12 hours to go before the investment increases on that one. So I'll pop the link in. It is in the title of this live stream as well, but I'll pop the link in again for you now. And Goddess Codes also closes next week. So this is the 4 weeks working with me one-on-one. If you want to work deeply, and Goddess Codes is a different frequency. Yeah, it's the 4. So working with a 4-month period is the same with the 12 months when you work with me in the inner circle. Working with me in the 4 months is a total different frequency than the 3 weeks or 3 months. So Goddess Codes closes next week. So it's 4 months working with me one-on-one. We've got the voice message, text message via Telegram, which can shift so much just being in that space. If you guys shift on my live streams, especially if you've been on my healing live streams like the one yesterday, there's a lot of people that are already starting to have like movement going on in their body. And I'm like, this is how it works. Like, this is my gift to you. This is how I heal. This is how I shift people. So being in the one-on-one space with me exponentially expands that and moves that really rapidly. 4 months is a total different frequency, hence why it's Goddess Codes. It's a very diamond-like frequency, hence the whales. The whales are the diamond energy as well. So very, very powerful frequency shifts that happen in Goddess Codes. So 4 months, one-on-one, you get, it's crazy, right? Exactly. You get the phone calls. So we do intuitive healing phone calls. So on those phone calls, I like to do video calls because we can really share so much. Like I've got this thing that I do with you guys, and those of you who know, and it shifts so much. So we do those calls. We don't have to use them. There's some clients that are just in the space that I rarely hear from. There's some clients I speak to every day. Some clients that I only do on the calls. And this is the thing about being an intuitive healer. Every client is different. And even on all my different programs, we're still tuning in to what is unique for you, because not everyone is the same. Not every trauma is the same. Not every convergence of timeline is the same. And this is the thing about being an intuitive healer. We know all of those pieces and we work intuitively just with you. So if you want to work with me one-on-one, just send me a message of Goddess and we can open up a sacred conversation, because that closes next week. So I'm going to pop in the link for the psychic protection. The investment increases in about 12 hours from now. So if you want to work one-on-one, send me a private message, and know that when devices are changing and shifting, that's because you're just broken through to a new frequency. You've been doing the work and now everything can land. So let it. I shall see you guys real soon.